Okay, sorry. I can't tell a story quick. I try. I really do try. And anyway, um, so mom goes, "You didn't tell me that you had any more pills." And I told her, I said, "You didn't ask." I said, "And I wasn't volunteering. I was saving them for an emergency." God, mom was so mad. She was fit to be tied. She said, "If I could come right through that phone right now," she goes, "and wring your neck," she goes, "I would." I thought, ah, that wasn't funny. I thought I was being a smart aleck. Oh yeah, she got even with me, and so she goes, "How many pills do you have left?" I said, "I have a whole entire new bottle." I was given some more pills, and so mom goes, "You go in," and she goes, "and you go take them off your book your shelf where they're at." I said, "No, I wanted her to come," and mom goes, "You do as I ask," and I said, "No." I said, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "If I don't." I said, "Come here." I said, "You told me you were gonna come." I said, "So you come and make me take those pills off that shelf." I said, "And give them to you." And mom's like going, "Don't get smart with me over that phone." She said, "You've done that before." She goes, "And what happened?" I got in trouble. What? She goes, "Uh-huh." She goes, "I still have my belt." And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "And you promised me a whipping too." And I said, "Oh," I said, "And you promised me a whipping." I said, "For attempting the suicide too." And and mom goes, "Yeah." She goes, "And when I see you, that's what you're going to get." And so she goes, and she was stern. I mean, I knew when not to cross. I mean, I crossed over the line on that, and mom talked to me sternly, and told me to get those pills off that shelf, and to go dump them out inside the toilet, and I did. And she said, "All of them," and she goes, "Do you have any more?" I didn't answer her. And she goes, "I asked you a question." Her voice just elevated. She goes, "I asked you a question." She goes, "And you answer me." I'm like, "Yes, ma'am." I said, "I do." She goes, "You get them?" She goes, "You get them now." She goes, "I told you." She was not playing, and I could like hear her like take her hand and hit them together, or she hit something with her hand. I could hear it, like like that. Oh, she was pissed. And she goes, "You get all those pills off of that shelf." She goes, "Right this instant." And so I did, and I dumped them out. Had her hear, listen to him, put the receiver like that over the phone, dumped them inside the toilet, and flushed the toilet. Oh yeah, she was not a happy mommy at all. And so she said, "Now," she goes, "now I don't have to worry about that." She goes, "Because I know that you're not going to do anything to hurt yourself." And um, no, she's right. I wouldn't have done that. And so she made me promise her, excuse me, that I wouldn't take my own life. I would not ever do something like this again, type of thing. And as I indicated before, mom taught me your word is your word, your vow is your vow, and your promise is your promise. And when you make them, you don't break them. And mom had me give my word, my promise, and my vow to her, and to swear it on your uncle Ollie's grave that I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't. I gave her my word, vow, and promise. I would never do something like that again. And mom was happy because at that second she's like, "Okay, well I took care of that. That's over." Um, and actually, it really wasn't over because I was still depressed. I mean, it's like, how is this going to go away? She knew I wasn't going to take my life again. She didn't have to worry about that. So she was relieved on that. And I had said to her, "Why won't you take me? Why wouldn't you take me?" And this was a different time after this phone conversation. And she said, "I don't want nothing happening to you." She said, "You never know." She goes, "Something could happen while we're down there." And she said, "I would have to live with that for the rest of my life." I said, "What, someone going to kill me or what?" I was just being smart. I was thinking all kinds of weird stuff, like, why? Are you and Uncle Bud involved in the mob? I said, and I'm going to be with you and get involved in something I said, and then I might get killed, and then you have to live with that for the rest of your life. She didn't like that. Um, I don't know what they ever did. I told you that. I know they did stuff. I just don't know what stuff they did do. I never knew. I was never told. But whatever it was at that time period, um, I mean, it could have been over nothing, and they just didn't want me to know what it is that they did. I mean, I don't know. Um, I, I don't even want to, guess at it. I've guessed a bunch of times. What is it that they did? Because I do know they did something. Um, I just don't know what that something is officially. I couldn't go to court and swear to it. But whatever it was, she didn't want me in the mix of it and involved in whatever it was or to know anything. And like she said, what if something happened to you? I would have to live with that for the rest of my life. And I'm not going to put you in harm's way, and I'm not going to have anything happen to you. I don't want you getting hurt. Um, so, and during that conversation, when she said she wasn't going to come for me, she never said that, at that time period, like, I'm never going to see you. She didn't say that, but she just said that, at this time I can't come for you, and I will call you when I'm able. And she always did, to come check on me. And that's when she put me on 2 weeks restriction and some other stuff. But I was on a 2-week restriction, no privileges. I knew the drill because I already had a week restriction before that, and over my mouth, over the phone. And so no privileges, no nothing. I wasn't allowed to come out of that room except obviously to go to the bathroom, to take a shower, to make something to eat. And when I was done eating, I had to wash my dishes, put them away, and go back into the room. I had a TV in there. I was not allowed to watch the TV. I had my own stereo in there. Wasn't allowed to listen to the stereo. I couldn't have no phone calls unless Mom called me. And the only thing I was allowed to do was read my Bible and write Mom. And Mom, during the course of me being on restriction, and I was on restriction 3 or 4 different times, when I lived in San Bernardino as an adult, like during those ages, the same rules applied. No privileges whatsoever. Rather read my Bible and write Mom, and that was it. And to think about why I was on restriction, and write to Mom about the reasons why I was on restriction, on how I was going to correct that behavior, and how I was never going to do that again. And I always had a bedtime. When I got in trouble with Mom over the phone, bedtime, 7:30. That was it. And I better and report to Mom, because she'd be asking me, what did you do? Did you? And she knew I wouldn't lie to her, not even over the phone. I wouldn't do it. And she could tell. Because I'd asked her this one time when she told me to stand in the corner. Literally stood in the corner. And I was 27. Had to be 27. I was 27, 28, something like that. Told me to stand in the corner. And she called after the 30 minutes were up and asked me, what did you do? Stood in the corner with my nose up against the wall. I said, like you told me to do. I said, with my hands to the side. And she could tell by the tone of my voice. And this one time I asked her, I said, well, what if I didn't do it? I said, then what? I said, we're going to come here, punish me? And she just like, yeah, don't get smart. You watch yourself. You watch yourself, she'd say. That was Mom. But, I wish you knew who I was back then. Yes, you probably could have helped me. You would have been able to talk to me. You would have probably been able to be good to me about what's making you depressed. I mean, I don't know what to actually say to somebody that's like that. I've not ever really dealt with anybody one-on-one for depression. Debbie was always depressed and stuff like that, but Debbie was her own depression. I never understood her reasoning for depression, but mine has to do with trauma. Something tragic happens in my life, and um, that will set me off into a depressive state. And too much happened in 90 between 91 and 92 um, to lead up to that point of me to be depressed and to fall into that state and to want to end my life. And I had figured that I'm never going to see dad, my father in law, again. I'm never going to see mom again. You know, no one loved me, no one cared about me. And I'm never going to see my uncles again. I was just, like I said, all this different stuff was going through my head. And my marriage was over. You know, all of them hated me. And I just figured me not existing anymore was the best way to end everything. And when Tony had told me that he was gay, I wasn't suicidal. I didn't have any suicidal thoughts. That was the only time I ever contemplated suicide and attempted it. Outside of being 16, I contemplated it, but I didn't attempt it. And mom knew about that, and she never thought anything by it afterwards. Um, that was the only time that I ever contemplated suicide and attempted it. And I'm not ever going to do that again. Um, I'm not going to say people are stupid to do it. I don't think there is anything stupid about it. But mom told me that during that conversation on the phone, that it was selfish of me, and I didn't realize on how what I did to how it affected her and how much it hurt her. And I would not have ever hurt mom at all, ever. And she knew that. And but yet I did. And I wouldn't do it again. But when Tony told me he was gay, I went into a depressive state and dropped a bunch of weight. Um, but then I ended up gaining it back. But and that's me on how something happens. My depression and anorexia play hand in hand with each other. Um, so when I found out July 3rd of 2020 that mom had passed away and Uncle Tom had passed away, mainly mom, I went into a depressive state. That was, to me, that was the final straw. That was the final blow. No, I will never see her again. Um, Obviously, when I go to heaven, yes, but and I see her in my dreams occasionally. Periodically, mom does come in my dreams. She really does, and I call her every night. I talk to her every night. I tell her good night, and I tell her I love her. Um, that helps me, but I'd like to believe she hears me. But when I had found out she had passed away, I went into a depression. I really did. Not suicidal or anything like that, but I went to a withdrawal. I withdrew from everything, and it was very hard for me to work. It was hard for me to mentally stay focused, and that's when I started doing the videos, my memory videos, and I would call them aggression videos. Um, or not aggression, regression, or I can't say that word right, regression, I guess, um, to get everything out. And I started to remember things like this. I'm still remembering stuff. Um, some are good, some are bad. Um, some make me laugh, some make me cry, some make me angry. I think I've said that before. But, and I don't know why that I started to remember everything. I don't. I mean, everything was always there, and I never talked about it. I never talked to anybody, not even to Tony, because I was never allowed to. I was never allowed to tell anybody anything that happened between me and mom. any conversation that happened between me and mom, I was never allowed to say it, talk about it. Um, if there was an incident between her and I, it was dealt with, talked about, over. She never brought anything up to me, ever. Never once did mom ever throw anything into my face, ever. Even stuff that I had said, she never did. Me, on the other hand, I did it on a couple of occasions, and she just looked at me, and this is when I physically saw her, and she says, "Why are you bringing that up? We already discussed that. Why are you bringing it up? You know, it's over and done with." And with me, mom didn't want anything to be rehashed out, or discussed. Um, anytime that she disciplined me, I mean, she took care of it. That was it. Cut and dry. Over. Done. I don't want to hear about this again. You know. Um, and that was it. So, um, to me, I think it's just because everything just kind of like started surfacing, and the different memories started to unblock, and the ones that were very painful, too, particular ones, those were like the first things I remembered. Um, they were always there, but why I kept remembering everything, I don't know. Um, I don't know why a person does that. And then I was reading up on it. I really don't have a clear explanation on how come it does. There's stuff that did take place. I wish I could remember in complete full detail, and I can't. I wish I could remember everything in full conversation, and I can't. Some I can. I literally can remember the time period of what led up to your uncle's funeral. That whole entire process, I know. I have remembered. I have remembered full conversations in detail over it. Maybe not full conversations, but I remember a great deal of the argument me and mom had when she disowned me. It's hurtful and it's painful. But that's what had happened, and so my depression triggers anorexia, and when you're anorexic, you're always anorexic. It doesn't go away. You can just like go into remission, and so I have gone in and out of remission a couple of times with anorexia. Um, the last time was when I found out mom passed away, because I went to depression and I went into anorexia. Like, snap your finger, it was simultaneous. And to me, that's how it works. Um, and that lasted, my anorexia actually lasted for a couple of months. And then I didn't want to be that way, because it's very hard once you get into that state of having anorexia. It's something that can take over, and I didn't want it to. It's too hard to climb out of. Just same thing with depression. It's so hard to get out of, and it's taken me almost. It took almost 2 years. It's taken almost 2 years to get out of that depressive state. Different things have helped. Me talking things out, me doing videos of memories, me just Debbie was great during some time periods where I would just sit on the porch and just talk and talk and talk and talk. I had erratic sleep. My sleep pattern was off. It was horrible. And then when I started talking to you, honestly, that helped a great deal. And you know, and just different things, come into play. I still get upset and over stuff that hurts me, that happened, uh, conversations that took place between mom and I. The pain's still there. I'll be driving, around from location to location to work sites, and something will spark inside my head, and I'll just start talking to mom. and and I'll start crying. But I have told somebody that, there's no time limit on grief. And I don't think there is. And there's people around me that have said, well, you just need to stop. You've grieved long enough. And the first couple of weeks I was grieving for mom, I had people telling me that. It's like going, you don't understand, because I couldn't tell anybody anything yet. I wasn't ready to tell anybody anything yet, about me being adopted. Because everything's always been Aunt Marie this, Aunt Marie that. When if I did say anything, and um, and I never could call mom mom. Well, I never said mom. I said mom. I call her mom. I couldn't call her mom out in front of anybody and around the family. Um, just like, how come I couldn't have a picture with her? I'm the only one that I was not allowed to have a picture with. I never could have a picture of her, and I could never have a picture with her and I. But everybody else, was allowed to, but me. And that, I don't understand that. And one time I asked her, "Are you ashamed of me?" And she said, "No, I'm not ashamed of you. Are you embarrassed about me?" And she says, "No, not that either." And I said, "Why can't I have a picture? How come I can't have a picture of you? And I just want one. That's all I want." And she said, and her answer would always be the same, because I said, what did I say? Never got it. I don't get it. That hurts me. That's one thing. There's different things that hurt me, but that's one of them. So anyway, I'm gonna end this with that, because one, it's after 9 o'clock and I need to go to sleep, and I have to get up at 4 o'clock. So, but that's pretty much the gist of my suicide attempt. There is a lot to it, but thank God I didn't do it. I'm glad that I didn't. I am, because mom would have had to live with that for the rest of her life, she said. And how could I have done that to her? If I truly, truly loved and respected her, she would not have done something like that. And I think in some regard with that, she was trying to use reverse psychology on me. But it made me feel very bad. I was so hurt when she made me realize that what I attempted was wrong, and damaging, not only to myself, but I damaged her, and and it hurt her tremendously. And I told her I would never have done anything to have hurt you, and she said this did. And if you would have died, I would have lived with that guilt, with that burden on my heart for the rest of my life. I would never have been able to get rid of it. And I didn't want that for her. So anyway, we'll talk to you later. Good night, or goodbye, or bye for now.